Hello everyone, this video will talk about how to use a VPN and what is VPN. So, first of all, let's just begin the show. So, first of all, the agenda for today will be what is VPN, what are the different types of VPN, how does a VPN functions, and what are the benefits of using a VPN. And last but not the least, we'll discuss for the summary. Okay, so let's move on. So first of all, this is the introduction, and this slide will basically introduce you what is VPN, how does it works and stuff. So VPN, as we all know, it stands for the Virtual Private Network. It offers a user a safe pathway to connect to the internet. By this line, I simply means it is gonna give the user privilege to have a safe connection using that encryption, decryption, and that tunnel process. I will explain the three terms in the coming slides, which gives the surety that no data leak can happen in between. Third one is the VPN uses the data encryption to maintain the integrity of the user information, as I already mentioned. Last but not the least is like VPN masks the IP address of the host and it assigns the device a new IP, virtually assigned. So basically, what happens is when a user connects to connects to a VPN, so that VPN is going to assign a new IP to that user. So it's okay. So let's just move on. So here, what are the different types of VPN? Mainly, VPN are divided into the following types. So into the two following major types. So either we go with a site-to-site VPN, either we go to the remote access VPN. So if I talk about site-to-site VPN, so site-to-site VPN is simply a kind of VPN which is used when the communication needs to be established between the two specific sites. And like in this one, so packets like the data, they're in the form of small packets and they are just encrypted so that the chances of having a kind of any data leak can be minimized. So site-to-site VPN, they are basically used if we have to establish a connectivity between the two different sites. An example of this one can be, let's say that there are two different locations. The one is in the site, so like basically site A is in the Calgary office, and site B refers to the Vancouver office. So if the connectivity needs to be established between site A and site B, so most of the time, site-to-site VPN is preferred over here. Okay. Now I'm going to move to the remote access VPN. So basically, remote access VPN, as the name suggests, it's this type of the VPN which allows a remote user to connect to a private network. Basically, how this works is that a kind of private tunnel is made in between the data server and the user using the internet connection. And how this works is like much more similar to the site-to-site VPN. Like basically, that ideology is totally same. But what is the advantage of using the remote access VPN over the site-to-site VPN? So remote access VPN can be simply imagined as like, let's say, past in the few days, like a few months back, we were having the COVID scenario. So most of the people they were just working from home. So what happened was like most of them they were using the VPN in order to access their company portal. The company portal was only accessible through the VPN just because the company know how crucial VPN is these days. They were simply giving the access to the users, and the users for the remote access VPN they need to have install an application which kind of act as an interface, and also that application asks them to provide with the username and the password, which adds another layer of security to the VPN. So remote access simply means any user sitting at home can access the company's data server using the appropriate credentials and appropriate amount of time. Okay, moving forward. So this is a diagram of site-to-site VPN. So basically, if we have a look over here, so this is, let's say this is site A, this is site B, and they're on the two different subnets. So this is site-to-site IPsec. So IPsec here basically refers to that protocol. So simply IPsec is a kind of protocol which helps in establishing the site-to-site VPN connection. Okay, so this site A is connected to the site B using the IPsec VPN connection. And now I will be moving to remote access VPN. So remote access VPN, as I already mentioned, let's say that the user is sitting at home. This is the laptop which the user has been using. The user wants to connect to the network access server, which is basically he just wants to access the files and other shares and stuff from the office. And this access server is connected to the main office. He cannot reach through any other means because this network access server is having kind of authentication and stuff. It's basically, let's say this, even this network access server, it's having the firewall which only gives permissions to this VPN connection, right? So how this works is basically a user just open the laptop and just go to the client software. Maybe this client software could also be provided by the office. So logs onto the client software, fill in the username, fill in the password, and after that, when he press OK, this VPN connection has been established. So this forms a tunnel over here, and this tunnel seems a bit simpler over here, but it's like the idea behind that is a bit complex. So this tunnel uses a kind of AES encryption, which is a kind of encryption technology which these days most of the people use. So this tunnel gives that assurity that any kind of security breaches can be repelled. So let's say if any kind of bad guy wants to have the access to the network access server, until or unless he is connected to the VPN, he won't be able to have the access to the network access server. Okay, so VPN is the way going forward. After that, how does a VPN function? So VPN mainly functions using the combination of encryption, decryption, and the tunneling. So these are the three, I would say, the base three things which helps VPN to establish the connection. So I'm going to explain each of the terms over here. So basically, the tunneling refers to making a secure passage to the internet from the host machine. So let's say there's a host A, there's a host B. The tunnel needs to be established in order to have the VPN connection working. Okay, that's basically tunneling. Encryption simply means to encode the information which is being transmitted by the user. And the how the encryption and decryption works is basically the tunnel is a kind of bridge for both of them. Host A and host B are on the two different sides. Let's say host A will encrypt a message. The message will transfer through the tunnel. It will reach to the host B. Host B will be able to decrypt the message, and in that way, it will be kind of two-way communication using the safe communication using the VPN. Okay. Moving forward, this is the basic functioning which I have added over here. So basically, this like just a kind of example over here. So let's say this is the user, and the user is connected to the ISP, and ISP he's also using the VPN connection. So this is the kind of encrypted tunnel which will be acting kind of medium to go with the VPN server and the VPN connection, right? This is the kind of VPN wake diagram. I have also this diagram over here. So this is your PC and this is the firewall. This is the VPN server. The VPN server is also going to assign a new IP when the user connects, right? The VPN server IP is connected to the internet website, and in that way, so this is kind of just a vague basic functioning of how the VPN is working. Moving forward, here are the basically advantages of using the VPN. So let's less ads online. So basically, what happen is that whenever like we just go to internet when we just search for a different like a particular product, let's say that maybe I'm looking for an iPad, right? So if I just search for iPad, so what happen is that the Google or any of the web browser, they're going to show me the same ads again and again when I just try going online. But what happens with the VPN is that VPN is as you get a new IP, so that new IP is not targeted that much by the advertisers, and you are also be kind of on the cider side from the unwanted on advertisements. In that way, less ads online. Second one is basically the better internet speed. So there's a term called as throttling. So throttling basically refers to like these days what is happening is that internet service providers, they're basically keeping an eye on the activities of the user. So let's say that if the user is using the Netflix and on the other hand the speed will be controlled by the ISP. If the ISP came to know about like that this is the much more higher speed which is being provided to the user than the required, so they're gonna basically play with the figures of the internet speed. So that's what we call as throttling. But with the VPN, they are not able to have they are not able to have a look of the activity of the user. That way, the user just have a faster internet connection much over here. Last but not the least, it will be the increased privacy. So chances of getting any data leakage are very minimal if the VPN is being used because AES encryption and decryption and that tunneling process will be used in the establishment of the internet, in the establishment of VPN. Okay. So here's a summary. So basically, to put it in a nutshell, it can be said that VPN should be taken into the use as it gives a peace of mindset that the user data remains much more secure and keeps organizational data leaks away from any kind of cyber attacks. I mean, like these days, most of the companies like Amazon, Microsoft, they are having a kind of different VPNs which are in between their organization, which help them to prevent any kind of security breaches and stuff. Okay. Also, the VPN offers other kind of advantages like better internet speed and ads reduction. I mean, like the advantages of the VPN are not limited to only to these three things. But in my opinion, VPN is a kind of hope for the future in order to be safer from any kind of cyber attacks and stuff. So that was pretty much it. And thank you for listening to me and have a nice day.